I knew it was going to happen. As soon as the news reports came in about the riots in Egypt, Tunisia, and so forth, around the Mideast, around the kind of the crescent area of the Mediterranean, the prophecy writers were going to come out and say, this is a sign of the end. That Egypt is Daniel's strong man from the south that's going to come in and invade Israel, and we're going to be headed for the rapture, we're going to be headed for the last times. And sure enough, we find Brandon House of Worldview Weekend asking this question: what does the pending overthrow of the government in Egypt mean for America and for Israel? Now, a question like this has been asked for a very, very long time. I just went to my library and pulled just a few things out, and there's much, much more on this. Now, the first thing I found was, Is the Antichrist at Hand by Oswald J. Smith. This was published in 1926, and it predicted that Benito Mussolini was the Antichrist. Those of you who don't know, Benito Mussolini was executed in 1945. Another book came out just 3 years after that, also pointing to Mussolini as the Marvel Man, that this was all the signs pointed to Mussolini. And of course you know that Adolf Hitler was another end-time Antichrist figure. Here's one: Emperor HIROHITO of Japan, unveiled in the light of prophecy. This came out in 1944. All of these individuals had good intentions, went to the Bible, looked at current events, and based upon what they saw in the Bible and based upon what they were seeing in the news, joined those two things together and came up with their assertion that the end had to be near, that these are all indicators that the end must be upon us. Now, not to be outdone by this, we find in our own day, not too long ago, here was a book published in the 1980s called The 1980s Countdown to Armageddon. In this particular book, Hal Lindsey maintained that the 1980s was going to be the last decade. And of course, this was also based upon his idea found in the late great planet Earth that the rapture was going to take place between 1981 and 1988. Chuck Smith in 1981 did an end-of-the-year presentation, a sermon laying out all of the indicators that he said was leading to the idea that we were living in the end of the 1980s. Here we are in 2010, and we are still here, and these people are still making similar type predictions. There was a long play record album back in the 70s, The Coming War with Russia, according to the Bible, where, when, and why. This was a message by Jack Van Impe. All of these prophecy writers assured us back then that these were signs of the end. We don't know what's going to happen in the Middle East. We don't know what's going to happen with Egypt. And the question we have to ask is, what does the Bible say about these things? This is why American Vision is sponsoring a national prophecy conference at the Ridgecrest Conference Center right outside of Asheville, North Carolina, June 1st through June 4th of 2011. I can assure you this will be the most comprehensive and the most biblically based prophecy conference you have ever attended. You will have an opportunity to ask the speakers at this conference almost any question you want on Bible prophecy. I've invited people from other perspectives to come and to bring their views, and so that we can dialogue with them on all this. Again, it's the National Prophecy Conference. You can go to AmericanVision.org, the sponsoring organization for this, for more information, or you can go to nationalprophecyconference.com to get the particulars of the conference. And again, June 1st through June 4th, 2011, nationalprophecyconference.com.